A few of us in the Canadian context have been meeting to talk about what the pilgrimage of justice and peace might mean for us and in the Canadian context. One of the things that we talked about is that we did not want the pilgrimage to be necessarily about going to a destination. We did not want it to be a pilgrimage of privilege, but rather a reorientation, a transformation, a thinking through of how we could do things differently or engage things differently, a deepening and integration of faith and justice, a deepening of our own spirituality, and linking that with concerns both locally and globally. With that in mind, we wanted to think about a process that would engage the Canadian churches on engaging in a pilgrimage of justice and peace in our own contexts. One of the things that we reflected on is the importance of people engaging in a pilgrimage, perhaps in their own backyard. So what would it mean to go on a pilgrimage to a park or a lake or a natural area that's very close to you? How do you understand the watershed or ecosystem that you live in? How do we engage in those very local contexts while also understanding the global systems that are at play and how we live and work and are in the world? People would perhaps first begin with some prayer, then biblical and theological reflection, then perhaps a study process, and then to have some courageous conversations about whatever the issue is. There might be 7 issues that would be really important for us to focus on in Canada. And we thought about coming up with words that were simple, yet rich and complex. So we came up with the following, and people could do them in any order, following the process that we have outlined. So the 7 themes are land, poverty, peace, racism, reconciliation, food, and climate. So each of those 7 are multifaceted. So within the question of reconciliation, for example, we would hope to explore questions related to Indigenous rights, the continued follow-up to the Truth and Reconciliation in Canada, and other related issues. Under the topic of land, we might look at issues related to migration, issues related to Canadian companies who are doing mining overseas, questions about whose land it is, or territorial rights. So each of these themes, even though they're one word, are very multifaceted. And we hope that people might say, over the course of this next year, we're going to talk about land and engage that in its fullest. The Pilgrimage of Justice and Peace, we hope, will create a menu or touchstones which people could engage very much in terms of their own contexts. So questions about land or food will look different in different parts of the country. And even as people engage locally and contextually, we hope that people will find a way to also make the important global and systemic links to the issues. We also hope to offer opportunities where people can learn from one another and talk about what each other are doing. So some people are engaging the pilgrimage and one theme and the labyrinth idea in one way in one part of the country, that they could find a way of sharing that with someone else and spark off new ideas. So we'll have a place where people can do that online, electronically, that kind of sharing, and be inspired by one another. It's an exciting journey, and we really look forward to it.